Hello and welcome everybody to another episode of the cEDH cast. My name is Ian, and with me as always is my co-host Braden.
Hello.
Today we are going to revisit Evolution in our Greedy Keeps special. But the first time we did record a Greedy Keeps with Evolution, the deck was still pretty new to me, so I didn't really feel like that was 100% apt, and I'm actually going to include this in my primer. So I figured might as well get it nice and freshly updated for you. So,
Yay.
y'all know how this works. We look at mulligans, we say if it's garbage or not, and then we hopefully see some good stuff. So, let's check
We
out this
get
first
greedy.
one.
That's what we do. Yeah, all right. So this first one's pretty sick. We've got a pair of
Yeah.
mana dorks, a spell
hmm
seeker, a sylvan library, a Ristic Study, an ancient tomb, and a breeding pool.
Yeah, I mean this is a
Seems
pretty snap
pretty
keep for me.
good.
Yeah. So
I'm not.
the game plan, sort of looking into it, is definitely to go turn one breeding pool into either of the dorks. You really can use it, doesn't really matter. Bird's Paradise is just like slightly better, so probably gonna get that. And then turn two, the plan is to either slam the study with protection or slam the study with another dork coming after it. So
Yeah, seems like a pretty good plan. Worst case scenario, you can always just play your sylvan library a couple
yeah,
turns later too.
that's
Go
it's a pretty
Bruce.
good worst case scenario.
Yeah, especially since you have the spell seeker too, so you kind of just have it all.
Right, right,
All right, let's go see another seven.
sure. Ugh, no lands. Get it out.
Goodbye.
Okay, so we're looking
This
at
one's pretty
Basalt
cute.
Monolith, Soul Ring, Verdant Catacombs, Deflecting Spot, Cataxian Probe, Yavi Maya Coast, and Cyclonic Rift. I am very inclined to keep this. This is a turn one. Well, turn one, the first thing I always do when I have a hand with a Git Probe in it is before I even play a land, just throw down the Git Probe in case it changes the direction you want to go with it.
Yeah,
Um, Then turn one, if Git Probe gets us nothing relevant, we just go Soul Ring into the Basalt Monolith, and then next turn untap, play a Thrasios with protection. It's pretty nice.
yeah. And one thing I will say that is awkward about this hand is that you can't play Bruce because
Sure.
your Yavimaya Coast is taps for blue green.
To be
But
honest, you're never
honestly,
playing
it's not.
Bruce until the mid game, anyways,
Yeah,
and
it's like
so
not a big deal. It's just something to think about.
it's literally I almost never worry about it. There are many games where you don't play Bruce, so
Yeah, for sure. The Basalt Monolith is like kind of nuts too.
yeah, having
Having
half
that
your
combo
combo in your
piece.
hand, yeah,
Yeah. All right. First seven.
cool. All right, we're looking at
So a lot of lands, a
yeah.
library, and a breach.
You get this out of your life. You do nothing turn one. Breach is only good when you have enablers, and library is great, but you don't want to just play a fair turn two library with nothing else. So,
Yeah, for sure.
all right, second seven. We're looking at Force of Will, Savannah, Forest, Training Ground, Seaboard Mute, Sylvan Library, Auriok Salvagers. This is a cringy hand. You can't even do the turn one Training Grounds. Now, let's go to six. Not even worth talking
One
about, really.
notable thing is that you do have like a turn two library with Force of Will backup, but like,
Sure.
and you have Auric Salvagers for a combo.
Like
You're not.
you never want to salvagers in your opening hand, to be honest. Like it's just dead most of the time.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, this is our six. Much better.
Yeah, it seems pretty good. I mean, you got the
Yeah.
you just like bottom one of these wheels probably.
Yeah, and then I assume you bottom the windfall. Just personally, I'd always want to go back up to seven. Windfall has its risks, so
Yeah.
it's Flusterstorm, Wheel, Land of Wild, Swan Song, Stomping Ground, Yavin Maya Coast, and Windfall. So I definitely
Yeah.
bottom the Windfall
There's
here, and
there's also it is possible you're supposed to bottom the Swan Song so that you can protect the wheel if it gets countered. So like
yeah,
if your first wheel gets countered, then your second wheel will definitely resolve.
that's definitely fair.
Um,
Yeah,
but I don't know if it's like I don't know if it really makes a huge difference. To be
seems kind of
honest.
cute. Yeah. I get it. Yeah.
All right, let's fresh seven.
Okay. One
This is
land.
pretty awkward.
This is pretty garbage.
Yeah,
Once again, there's two 5 drops in his hand, a power artifact without a payoff. You're
yeah,
really relying on Remora, and you don't want to do that. So let's go to our second seven.
yeah. I just want to say something about this hand first. Like, I think you're seeing like one of the downsides of this deck. So like, you're playing like a lot of win conditions.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you think of Seaborn Muse as a win condition, Power Artifact as a win condition, or Excalibur as a win condition, like you just have like you've seen every hand we've had so far. It's been a problem. The problem has really been the fact that our win conditions are not like a tutor or a cantrip or a like one of the downsides of not being black is that like you kind of are forced to play more like win conditions that layer together well instead of just playing like very few win conditions and like a huge breadth of tutors that are like extremely
Sure.
flexible. So
That also being said, these hands have been. It's not because of these cards that they have been unkeepable. It is.
I don't know, like the average deck doesn't play like Power Artifact or Salvager's Seaborn Muse. It's like Brain Freeze in this deck, Underworld Breach. Like you are just playing more win conditions than most decks are.
Oh
so
yeah,
you're
I'm
just
not
gonna
saying
see
that. Yeah, yeah.
You're gonna see that reflected in the hands.
That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying was the reason this hand is bad is not due to that. It is just a bad hand.
I don't agree. I think if Auriac Salvagers and Power Artifact were like Vampire Tutor or something, like
I still wouldn't keep that hand.
Really? With the turn
No.
Mystic Remora?
No.
And you can like Vampire
No.
Tutor.
Anytime
for,
you rely on, I've never had a hand where I
don't
relied
Vampire
on a
Tutor?
Remora.
You
That
don't
has
Vampire
paid
Tutor
off.
for like Mana Crypt? I'd be fine.
Oh,
with that.
okay, sure. But even then, you can't. You can barely pay for Remora. No, I would
The
not
next turn
keep
you just
that.
play the Summon Library, and then you have a turn 3 Remora that you can actually like,
I guess.
actually pay for. I don't know. I think that's just a downside of like these kinds of strategies. It's just something to be noted.
Okay.
All right, next hand. This seems pretty medium.
This is a very medium hand. This is our six.
Second 7.
Oh,
I think
second
it's our
seven.
Second 7.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I'm not inclined to keep this. You can call it greedy, but I don't think this is
I don't
doing
think it's that
anything.
greedy. I think like there's some appeal to this hand. Like
Sure,
the,
it's
Brainstorm's
there,
a very
right?
powerful card. The
Yeah.
problem is like one of the problems with this hand actually is that like the powerful thing to do would probably be to like do nothing on turn 1, then on turn 2
Right.
Brainstorm,
And then shuffle away. But it's like,
but then you can't play the Arcane Signet.
yeah,
Like,
exactly.
So there's just some awkward sequencing here.
Yeah.
All right, so now we go to 6.
All right. Well,
I don't think this is a keepable 6.
no, you can't. No, it's not even slightly.
Time to go to 5.
Yep.
All right, this is like a fine 5, I guess.
Yeah, for 5, this is fine.
You just bottom probably the Stomping Grounds
Yeah.
and the Breeding Pool.
And to be honest, on turn 2, you don't really even have to jam the Signet. I would rather have the Oak Game out.
Yeah,
if
if you can
there's
get
a
the
green
open
source.
adversary out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hope you draw a Dork.
Yeah. Yep.
If you can draw the Dork, it depends on when you do it. If you can draw the Dork on turn 2, you might play the Arcane Signet, then play the Dork.
Sure.
If you don't draw
Yeah.
the Dork, you just play the Oakum Adversary if you can. So
Fun thing to think about here when we're talking about bottoms. I know obviously you're just like whatever, 2 lands. There's a couple things in mind. If you think that your opponent are playing gotcha cards like Mind Sensor and you think that's going to be relevant, that's one thing. But I'm more inclined to keep the 2 fetches here, not only because it gets us better quality lands, but also because of the fact that you want to fill up your graveyard for Underworld Breach later in the game.
yeah.
So that's just something to think
Also,
about.
do you play Basic Island or Basic Forest? Do you play either?
I do play basic Forest. Yeah.
Yeah. So then, Windswept like having access to be able to do that if you feel like you need to is also pretty good.
Yeah.
So it's just something to think about.
Definitely. Yeah.
All right, fresh 7.
Fresh 7.
This is
Sometimes
super
you get
awkward again.
Yeah, sometimes you get land light hands. That's awkward. Oh well.
I don't like this.
This is fine.
I don't like it.
Yeah.
I'm not sure there's like better hands out there, but I just
Yeah.
don't like the idea of like what does this hand do against
So-
anything?
On turn
Yeah.
1, yeah, on turn 1 you can hold up either Tear or REB. You just play the fetch and pass. And that's good for like early stuff, but to be honest, going turn 2 Oak Aim or Shusher is just not where you want to be. So let's go to 6.
Yeah.
Okay.
This
This is super
slightly
fine.
better.
Yeah.
Yeah. What would you bottom here?
The bottom, I don't know if it's greedy, but I think I bottom a land here.
I think that's correct. Do you bottom the Arid Mesa?
The Arid Mesa, Yeah, yeah. You can. I think you could be equally as fine saying Savannah or Arid Mesa. Savannah's not really like the land you strive for, so like just grabbing like a Volk or a Tundra off of Arid Mesa and then like a Trop off of Wooded Foothills is also
Oh,
completely
okay.
fine. So
I'm a little biased because I play Timna decks, where Savannah is like really good.
yeah, Savannah's like fine here.
Okay.
Yeah, I think
Um,
I bottom Savannah to be honest in general.
all right.
Yeah,
So I guess like the plan is to go like turn one Wooded Foothills for Trop, Carpet of Flowers into a Ponder. That's like the
yeah, which is
dream.
like a pretty nice place to set up
Yeah.
turn one. So
And then you can use the Air Mesa to shuffle away the like worst card on the top three.
yeah, totally.
So it seems pretty good.
Yeah,
All right,
sweet.
fresh seven. This is like pretty awkward.
Yep.
Again,
Yeah, it's a colorless land with all color spells. So, second seven we have. This is pretty keepable. We have an Arbor Elf, three lands, including a Taiga. There's Swan Song, Vexing Shusher, and Swords. So anytime you play a mid-range deck, shout out to Into the North. They actually did a really good episode about mid-range recently.
Mhm.
It's one of those things where you just have to not die in the early game to like quick stuff, and this is a hand that's pretty good about that because you can drop your Arbor Elf turn one, and then turn two you can play a Thrasios and have either Swan Song or Swords as interaction, and you're not fully tapped out. So like I'm very happy with that actually as a hand.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. I think the fetching here is kind of awkward because you do want to be able to hold the source to plowshares in the Swan Song. So I guess you get a Tundra. No, that doesn't untap. Hmm. It's just
So
awkward here.
sorry, what's your problem with it?
Oh, I just it's not a problem. I just think it's awkward here with the Arbor Elf, where like if you want to hold up if you want to go on turn two, play a Thrasios, which is what I assume you want to do.
Yeah.
Um, let's say you get a Trop, right?
Yeah,
And the
so
Arbor
if you're
Elf.
worried about that, I think you go Flooded Strand, you grab a Trop off of that, and then you just play the Citadel, and like, okay, if you have to take 3 damage, you're not losing the game.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah,
All
so
right, sweet. All right, this is a fresh seven.
fresh seven, no
On their way.
lands, goodbye.
I mean, I think again, this is like a pretty good example, right? Like, how many cards have we seen now that are like not generically good cards? Like, I would say like Training Grounds is not a generically good card. Like, I think it's very powerful, but it's not like generically powerful. Like, it requires some amount of setup. I think Savine's Reclamation and Zerta are both in that category, and Muddle is like almost in that category because it gets like Breach, which is like kind of insane, but then it's a counterspell, so it can actually be useful in the early game. Um, I think
Yeah,
we
sure.
just
I,
keep
I mean, a
seeing more
no-lander is
cards
hard
like
to really
this.
make an example out of this hand on, to be
No,
fair.
it's just the thing I keep noticing in our unkeepable hands is like lots of like just not generically good cards. How many lands are
Right,
you
but
on?
once again, this is my point. It's not the Savines and Zerta being in this hand has nothing to do with why this hand is unkeepable, right? This hand is
That's
unkeepable
fair.
because it's zero lander.
How many lands are you on?
29.
29. Okay.
Yeah, just pretty standard.
Yeah, I guess like it's weird. You're in a weird spot between mid range and not mid range.
Yeah.
29 is probably where you're supposed to be. All right.
Oh, that
This hand
sounds
looks
great.
sick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is our six.
Do you? No, this is 7. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, okay.
Um, yeah. Do you like Oakham Adversary a lot? Has that been really good for you?
Yeah, and whenever the very few times that you like turbo out Bruce are Oakham adversary hands. Yeah.
Oh yeah, because it's double strike. That's sick. I
Yeah.
really like
Oh
that.
yeah. Oakham plus Bruce means that you have a hard time losing mid range games when you have that combo going on.
That's pretty sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a this is like a surprisingly the Force of Vigor being here is like makes it actually like surprisingly disruptive.
Yeah. Yeah.
Means you can interact with a few things.
Mm-hmm.
The gamble is interesting. I wonder what you get, but you
Gamble's
might
just
not get
a
anything.
win con 9 times out of 10. So it really depends on how this hand goes. I mean, if you wanted to be really greedy with this hand, you could definitely gamble for a crypt, but that could backfire pretty fast. Turn one, I mean.
Yeah. Especially since like you kind of just want to jam the Training Grounds. right?
So see, no, that's a very medium green play style. I don't think jamming the training grounds is necessarily where we always want to be. Don't get me wrong, it's very good, and there's a reason we play it because it's very powerful. But like jamming it out turn
So,
one is not always
but right here you do,
100%
right?
the right strategy.
Right here you do, right?
Well,
You use
that's
it
what
on
I'm
turn
saying.
one.
I'm actually very tempted to go for that gamble line I talked about.
For what? Mana crypt?
Yeah, Mana Crypt.
What does that do?
So it basically means that, or I guess even Soul Ring actually, because the you go for the turn two adversary and then turn three Bruce, and that way that's the engine you have online.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's an
Okay.
aggressive play, and it might super backfire. So if you want to take the safe line with this hand, then yes, Training Grounds into a adversary into I guess Thrasios, but even then you still want more mana. So well, I don't know. Depends on how the first couple of draws play out. I think are extremely important to this hand.
That's true. Do you want to just go to the next one? Fresh 7?
Yep.
Seems good.
Yeah, seems great.
If
It's another one of those
you're...
hands where you can gemstones away the Chromox if you're not worried about, you know,
I'm not
dumping
sure
it
what
out.
you even do. I think you just, like... I mean, like, if you go Gemstones, Exile, Muddle,
And
Chromox,
Chromox get
Exile,
rid of delay.
Delay...
Yeah, that's like super
You can
aggressive.
go Thrasios. You can go Thrasios, Llanowar Elves.
Turn
on
one, right? Which is nice, but then you're basically hellbent. So
Yeah. With a Thrasios and an Elf in play on turn 1 and a Chromox.
I'm also like with three lands, I'm more tempted to exile one of them to gemstone.
It's like a Mox Diamond.
Sorry.
Then it's closer to a Mox Diamond. I don't think Mox Diamond is actually very powerful in, like, in this situation. guess
I don't
would
know.
probably exile the
I'd rather have
Chromox.
the interaction in hand than like one more land.
Yeah, I think I'd exile the Chromox before I exiled the land.
I see what you're saying. Yeah, that's fair.
So yeah. All right. And then if this isn't one of those hands, if you're on the play, you probably just.
Oh, if you're on the play, yeah. This is I mean, I think you still go for just the turn one elf, and then it's less appealing on the play, yeah. But I still don't think you ship it.
You could just hold the Chromox and wait to draw
Yeah,
something you feel comfortable
yeah.
pitching to it until like the actual mana becomes relevant, which is probably on
That's
turn 2.
I have done that many times. Re-sandbag the Chromox, yeah.
All right, first 7. Okay.
This
This is an
hand's
awkward
not very keepable. So you have a red elemental blast, 2 lands, power artifact, Eladamri's Call, wheel, and mana drain. You just don't do anything turn 1 except for hold up a red elemental blast, and you're not advancing your own game state. So second 7.
Yeah. This seems good.
Yeah. I mean, you have the win in hand, hypothetically.
It's a little awkward that you have both enablers.
I see. Yes, it is. It totally is. But at the same time, like the first time you go for your combo, you might not get it. You know.
I guess I'd rather it be like a pact negation or something. You know,
Sorry.
like if it was a pact negation or a pyroblast or something, like the Zerda or the power artifact, that'd be nice.
Right. Exactly. Which is why you like play the fair Grim Monolith. You know what I mean? You enlighten tutor for it. You can probably, if there's an island ahead of you, you can go command tower,
That's
carpet, get the enlightened tutor.
disgusting.
You can grab like a very fair Grim Monolith, and then people aren't worried about it until.
I think once you enlighten Tutor for Grim Monolith, people are pretty on edge, right?
No,
generally know
no,
what's going
actually, that I
That's so bad. That's so bad.
if you enlighten tutor for it, no, because a lot of the time you can play it off as like I want to have mana later. You know what I mean? I understand that it's like part of the win con, but like people aren't worried about it until they need to be worried about it, right? Like if
I
you're
don't-
just attacking a Grim Monolith, which is just like a 3-mana ritual, like you're wasting your time. You know what I mean? When especially in the early turns.
No, I don't agree. I think enlighten Tutor for Grim Monolith immediately sets off alarm bells in my head. Immediately, like
Right?
that's
Yeah,
not
you
normal.
should be on caution, obviously, but they're not gonna. I don't think everyone's spending their entire turn being like, oh, enlightened tutor for Grim Monolith. At least not in my experience. I've done it a couple times, so I don't know.
If I was on medium green, I'd make the topic of conversation enlighten Tutor for Grim Monolith basically until we saw the power artifact. Unless someone like had ad nauseam on the stack or something crazy like that. That's super scary to me. I'm trained by the old Zer Doomsday decks that were on power artifact to,
Sure.
to immediately shut that down.
Yeah.
So yeah. All right. Do you want to go to a new 7?
Yeah, sure.
This is really
Oh,
awkward.
that's so sad.
Yeah. There's
Yeah.
really
I
no,
mean,
there's
so
no
yeah,
clear,
you could
clean
you
way
could
to
do
clean
some
this up.
nonsense where you enlighten tutor, but you're just wasting your own time. Let's get a second 7.
This seems good.
Manuscript, Worldly. Yeah. Trying to think
I'm
what I
not.
do with this hand. So obviously you're doing the turn 1 Worldly. Um, what do you get?
You can get like a Dockside or something.
Yeah, in a Dockside pod, this is really good. I often, if I just have a Worldly Tutor without the Mana Crypt in my hand, a lot of the times I will go for just a fair turn 2 Bloom Tender off after Worldly Tutoring. Just
Yeah.
if
I do
if it's a
think
grindy pod, you know what I mean?
there's a
Uh,
world here where you like play the Worldly Tutor into a turn 2 Dockside and then drop Zerda and Thrasios.
yeah,
'Cause you
which
have
is
the
pretty
Mana
nice.
Crypt.
Yeah, yeah,
So like it's not unreasonable that, you pay, the 2 colorless pays for the one from Dockside, the one from
right.
Zerda,
Yep.
So you
Yeah,
have
totally.
like your Dockside really only needs to make like what 3-4 mana. That's
Yeah.
like very reasonable. And then now you have like this insane engine in play.
Mm-hmm.
All your
Mm-hmm.
bounce spells are now live rituals because you have the Dockside in play.
Yeah.
You have this like again broken, grind engine.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
I could see that being a line. Depends
Yeah.
what you expect to see.
Yeah, I think you definitely wait to Worldly Tutor until the very last minute in the pod.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. You're not like sorcery. It's not. You're not casting a Sylvan Tutor.
Yeah, exactly. Sweet. All right,
All right.
let's get one more Keeple 7 in here.
This is not bad.
Yeah,
This
that's
is not
super
bad
fun.
at all. You have
LED's
an Auriac
always,
Salvers.
sad to
You have
see your first turn, but like it happens.
you have an Auriac Salvagers in your hand. That's the thing, though, right?
Yeah, you can get an Auriac out turn 3, which is pretty nice.
Yeah. I mean, you can get out turn 3 and
Yeah. I mean, you can
and,
go for the
and
win for turn 3. Obviously, it's not my favorite combo to go for, but
yeah, it's turn 3 if someone's already tried to go off, you can just slip in under the mid range decks.
yes, 100%. You definitely sandbag that Worldly Tutor as long as you can. Turn 1, I think you just go Command Tower Birds, wait it out, and then the cool thing about the Wild Growth and Utopia Sprawl like effects is that they basically
mana
are like
neutral.
hasty dorks. So
Yeah, I mean, you can even like go like turn 1 Dork,
Yep.
turn 2 Wild Growth on the command tower, tap the command tower for Thrasios,
exactly.
then play the Worldly Tutor at the end step, get
Mhm.
the Auriac Salvagers, play LED win. I mean, that's like
Yeah,
a very
exactly.
reasonable. And then if your Auriac Salvagers gets messed with, you have like 4 or 5 mana in play with
Mhm.
Thrasios in play, and you can start grinding there.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
and if they've stopped 2 decks at this point on turn 3, which I think is what they would have to do if you're playing the game this way.
Right.
Like if you're not going to play the Auriac Salvagers combo unless someone else has already tried to go off, most likely.
Yeah.
If that's already happened and everyone's just disrupted 2 combo decks, you probably actually have some time to grind.
Yeah. Also, like
probably
if you're looking at that being the place to go, like and you're worried about tapping out completely, you probably can just jam a Seaborn Muse turn 3 too.
Oh yeah, that's very true. That's very true. And what you'll have Birds of Paradise, Wild Growth, and 3 lands. Yeah,
Yeah.
that'll work. So
Yeah.
that's very powerful.
A lot
when you
of
consider
play
that.
to this hand. So I'm
Yeah,
very
Worldly
happy
Tutor is
about
very
it.
powerful in this deck, as we've
Mhm.
kind of noted. Like the ability to get a ritual, the ability to get a win condition, the ability to get a kind of win
Yes.
condition in the form of Seaborn Muse is
Yeah.
very powerful.
Definitely.
You do like you're trading like as we mentioned earlier, like you're trading the overall card quality in the deck for density of layering of like
Mhm,
specific
mhm.
tutors that you do have access to. So,
Yeah.
it's an interesting playstyle.
Yeah.
All right, that's all we have for hands right now. Is there anything you'd like to add?
Yeah. Just so Evolution is definitely one of those decks where your place at the table is very important. Utilize the fact that you are on a Sans Black strategy. That's always going to be to your advantage. Bruce Tarl is very powerful. It's a really good life engine and it's a good pressure engine. Things to note, just in general, the deck can be, switch between mid-range and going for the combos pretty repeatedly. So watch out for those times when, as Braden mentioned, going for an Auriok Salvager's Bomberman combo is not good if your opponents have men up, especially if you don't have good protection, right? However, there's a lot of the combos in the deck, like I was talking about with the Power Artifact Zerda and Light Tutor hand, where you can go for a Grim Monolith with a Zerda on the field, and then next turn go for the Power Artifact, right? And then in those hands, you are, incentivized to kind of go for the combos a little more aggressively because you're not really going to be punished as much. So just something to note when playing the deck.
Mm-hmm. Are there any cards you're testing right now that weren't in the list we were just, mulliganing with?
No, that is the most recent updated list. So
sweet.
Yeah.
All right. So thanks, Ian, for letting us make this awesome video.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool to check out this list. You just won the Nexus League, right?
Yeah. So there was the ranked season of the cEDH Nexus, and I actually only played Evolution for the whole time and ended up in first place. So did me pretty well.
Yeah. Are you playing it in the Super League that's coming up?
Yeah, so there's a cEDH Nexus Super League coming up, which is a bunch of content creators all making teams. We have a team with a friend of the show, Matt, and Hire from the cEDH Nexus. And this is one of my 2 decks submitted. My other one's Elsha. So we'll probably do Greedy Keeps on that sooner rather than later.
That sounds like fun.
Yeah. Sweet.
All right. Well, thanks for listening, everyone. If you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button and maybe even hit the notification bell. That helps us out a lot. We're almost to 1,000 subscribers, and when we do, we're going to actually do an edited gameplay video. So look out for that. It'll be coming up soon, assuming that people keep subscribing to our YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Let's hope. Have a wonderful day, and stay safe. Bye.
All right, bye.